Good morning. Welcome to another edition of Beyond the Well. I am Shamika.
And my name is David.
So David, this is the first time you and I have actually done Beyond the Well together.
Yes, it is. I guess we're starting off the new year right.
Yeah, I guess we are.
That's right.
So speaking of starting the new year off right, we were trying to think of some topics that would be fitting for, this first Sunday back as Beyond the Well, and we came up with Inkwell, New Year's resolutions. Some people call it vision boards. Some people say law of attraction. So there are so many different titles of coming into New Year with different wishes, wants, or desires.
Exactly. So before we delve into that, we just want to give you a quick history lesson, if you will, as to the background of New Year's and where resolutions actually come from. Believe it or not, New Year's has not always been celebrated in January, but was once celebrated in March. March the 1st, according to the Roman Empire. But it wasn't until Julius Caesar took over, I don't know what year, he mandated that the new year would start on January the 1st in honor of this pagan god called Janus. And if anybody has never heard of this god called Janus, she had two faces. One face looking into the old year, and the other face looking into the new year.
I know a lot of Januses.
Are they two-faced individuals? They trustworthy individuals or not?
Makes sense now.
But anyway, we fast forward the clock a little bit of ways, and Great Britain is now the world power, and they have many territories, and they adopt this Gregorian calendar, which instituted that January is now officially the first month of the year, and to this day, we still celebrate New Year's on January the 1st.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, if you look at history, you had the Babylonians, you had medievals, you had the Romans, you also had the slaves who had watch night. And that's something that, of course, we all celebrated a couple of weeks ago, where we came in and we brought the new year in prayer. So you have different religions, different ethnic groups that celebrate the new year in different ways. But you and I were actually talking about New Year's resolutions, and I shared with you that I actually do a vision board. And you looked at me and you were like, so why? And I said, well, for me, it allows me to, at the end of each year, to sit and reflect on what I would like to change in the new year. And on this vision board, I put like the desires of my heart, but I put around it different scriptures, because I know that, I could have these desires, but if it's not God's will, for those things to happen in my life, then it won't happen at all. And we were talking about some of those, and I told you that I had several verses. Proverbs 3:5, trust in the Lord with all your heart and do not lean to your understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, he will direct your path. Matthew 19:26, but Jesus looked at him and said, with man this is impossible, but with God all things are possible. Matthew 7:7, ask and it will be given to you, seek and you will find, knock and the door will be open to you. So what I do is that I surround my desires with these scriptures, but I also know that faith without works is dead. So what I also do is that I pray and ask God, and I also to me, it's strengthening my prayer life as well, because I'm not only praying for these things, but I'm also going to the Bible, I'm reading, and I'm making sure that I'm meditating on these things as well. So, we were talking about the vision boards, and I was just like, so David, do you have a vision board? And you shared with me that you actually have a plan that you do.
Well, yeah, I don't do the vision board thing, but I found out that I do something very similar at my job. I'm a naval aviator, so we do different types of missions all over the world. And it usually starts with everybody sitting in a brief room. And we clearly define what the mission is. And we clearly define what each objective that we need to accomplish over the course of that mission is. So it usually starts, on the pilot side, starts with a flight plan. We need to get from point A, point B, all the way to the mission area, accomplish the mission, and at the end of the day, land the plane. So the vision board, I can see how a clearly set plan, what we are purposing to accomplish for the year or for the day, is clearly laid out, is defined, and then we can work towards accomplishing that goal. But what about the other traditions and resolutions? Whether or not you call it a resolution or a vision, what are the common resolutions that we as Christians and non-Christians have each year?
Losing weight.
We're going to rattle off a couple, but maybe stop smoking, stop drinking, manage your money more wisely, spend more time with family, or the most common one, lose weight. Maybe shift to the spiritual side of things, pray more, attending church more regularly or reading your devotional regularly. But we all know that a lot of these resolutions have a high failure rate.
They do.
And why do they have a high failure rate? Because, well, I think it's because these resolutions oftentimes they lack substance. They lack true inspiration. You know, we haven't really deeply thought about our motivation behind the resolution.
Well, I can tell you when it comes to losing weight, like my mom, every year she says, I'm going to lose weight.
Okay.
You know, and her motivation is, you know, by summer. Because in summer, I want to, you know, wear certain things in the summertime.
Okay.
So, you know, I need to let her know that, hey, Mom, your vision lacks substance. You know, but she's going to kill me. But, you know, I'm going to tell her, David said your vision lacks substance.
Don't tell her that. But anyway, you get the point. Like, we need substance, we need proper motivation, and we also need the drive, the commitment to make that necessary change. So we as Christians, when we make resolutions, we should ask ourselves, is God at the center of our resolution? And just to apply it really fast to reading your Bible every day. Why do you want to read your Bible every day? Is it because it's a Christian thing to do, and it's just the thing that Christians do? Or is it because you truly desire to grow closer to God and know God's will for your life? For bathing suits, if you're working out, living a healthier lifestyle so you can lose weight to show off your body or go to the beach, or, you know, it's more vanity and not for the purpose of glorifying God with your body, maybe you just need a new perspective on your resolution.
That's true. And I, you know, briefly mentioned law of attraction, and just want to kind of give the definition on law of attraction. Law of attraction is the ability to attract into our lives whatever we're focused on. It is believed that regardless of age, nationality, and religious belief, we are susceptible to laws which govern the universe. One, which being the law of attraction. It is a law of attraction which uses the power of the mind to translate whatever is in our thoughts and materialize them into reality. In basic terms, all thoughts turn into things eventually. Now, there was a movement of law of attraction. Oprah was a part of it. She was saying, you know, you will those things into the universe. Several other authors wrote books about law of attraction. And we were talking about the difference between law of attraction, vision boards, and resolutions. And the difference between all of those things is that unless God is in it, and unless it's the will of God for your life, then none of those things are going to happen. So you can't will those things. It has to be God's will. So that's the difference between all of them. So, you know, we want to make sure that we distinguish that today. That I don't want people to think that we're up here saying that you think these things and it'll happen, or you write them down, it's going to happen. No, you have to make sure that your walk with God is where it needs to be. You need to make sure that your prayer life and your faith is where it needs to be in order for things to happen.
And you said something very interesting. I'm actually reading this book called Courage. I can't remember who's writing this book. I'm horrible about names. But anyway, this book called Courage, in one section it breaks down the acts versus the facts. And I think that perfectly describes faith. It describes what you just stated, Shamika, that we have the facts in the Bible, right? And then we are to walk. We have the acts, which is directly our belief, are actually walking based on what we profess that we believe.
Yes.
So whether or not you have not taken the time to reflect on what God has done for you in this past year, we hope that you decide to do that. We hope we've given you some tools to actually define some clear and productive resolutions for this upcoming year. But until next time,
go beyond your community, go beyond your comfort zone, and
go beyond the will.
thank you.
Next time.